We will now call to order the February 23rd, 2026 meeting of the Fairburn City Council. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
The Honorable Anatavia M. Benson.
Present.
The Honorable Linda J. Davis.
Present.
The Honorable Fannie Mae Hauser.
Present.
The Honorable Shanita Nichols.
Present.
The Honorable Samuel Perry.
Present.
And the Mayor Pro Tem Ulysses J. Smallwood.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Now we will have the invocation from Reverend Louis Ecker of First Baptist Church, Fairburn.
Good evening. I'm Pastor Lewis, filling in for Pastor Evan from First Baptist Church, who had knee surgery a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, I've come down with a bad case of laryngitis, so we'll be making a joyful noise tonight. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts for the privilege of serving our community. Grant us wisdom that rises above personal interest, clarity to see the needs of all, and courage to make decisions that bring justice, peace, and prosperity. Bless our mayor and bless each council member, the staff, and the citizens present today. May our words be respectful and our actions be fair, and our hearts be united in the common good. Guide us as stewards of the resources, and guide us to have wisdom in all that we say and do. Protect the vulnerable and build a city where hope and opportunity will flourish. We ask for your presence in this meeting tonight. We give you all the praise and all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, first item, next item.
The first item is going to be the proclamation honoring the Creekside High School Seminoles.
Thank you. If council could join me on the floor, please. It is truly my honor to be able to present this proclamation to Coach Dixon and his team for the stellar year that they've had. Creekside, Georgia State champions, football. This proclamation honoring the Creekside High School Seminoles 2025 GHSA Class 4A State Champions. I will not read all of this, but I want to highlight several whereases. Whereas the Creekside High School Seminoles completed an extraordinary and historic 2025 football season, finishing undefeated with a 15-0 record and capturing the Georgia High School Association Class 4A State Championship. And whereas under the leadership of head coach Maurice Dixon, the Seminoles demonstrated exceptional discipline, teamwork, perseverance, and excellence, culminating in a hard-fought 42-39 victory in the state championship game. And whereas during the 2025 season, Creekside High School Seminoles scored 803 total points. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The most points ever scored in a single season in the GHSA history, establishing a new standard of excellence in Georgia high school football. And this one I'm really proud of. Whereas many members of the championship team began their athletic development in the Fairburn Flames football program at Duncan Park, reflecting the city of Fairburn's long-standing commitment to youth development, mentorship, and community-based recreation. And whereas many members of the championship team began their athletic development in the city of Fairburn's youth football program at Duncan Park, illustrating the city's long-standing investment in youth development, membership, and community-based recreation. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Honorable Mayor Hattie Portis Jones, the Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Ulysses J. Smallwood, and the Honorable City Council members Anatavia Benson, Linda J. Davis, Fannie Mae Hauser, Shanita Nichols, and Samuel Perry of the City of Fairburn, Georgia, do hereby recognize and commend the Creekside High School Seminoles Athletic Director, Dr. Mika Troy, Head Coach Maurice Dixon, the coaching staff, student athletes, families, and supporters for their outstanding achievement as the 2025 GHSA Class 4A state champions. And be it further proclaimed that the city of Fairburn celebrates this milestone as a reflection of community partnership, youth investment, and excellence, and extends its sincere congratulations to the entire Seminoles program for representing the city with honor, integrity, distinction, and an overwhelming winning season. Those are my comments, okay? Congratulations. On this 23rd day of February 2026. Congratulations. I will have Coach Dixon speak in a moment, but I also want to say that we, in partnership with the city of South Fulton, hosted parade and program at Creekside Field. Was that last weekend? Last Saturday, which was an awesome, awesome program. So congratulations, Coach Dixon and coaching staff.
This is the one I kind of been waiting on. I mean, I started playing at Fairburn when I was 5 years old, and I graduated from Creekside High School. So, you know, to have my son and the players that grew up with him, you know, attempt that feat and conquer that feat, I am beyond proud just to be a part of, you know, historic town as Fairburn. We just thank you so much for y'all support. We're gonna need a little bit more support with these rings. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a dream come true. And we're gonna do it again. So this year we're gonna have the parade on 29 like it's supposed to be.
And I just want to say, well, how many people saw the inaugural In Focus digital magazine from the city of Fairburn? Okay, so we are going to feature Mr. Dixon and Creekside team in the next issue. I knew there was a story to tell. I did not know that you played at Duncan Park as well. So we're right on this. All right, thank you. Okay, wow. Awesome. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
The next item is the adoption of the city council agenda.
Yes, you have before you the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. The agenda as presented is approved. Public comments? Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. Public comments? How many speakers do we have?
Mayor, we have no speakers.
Oh, okay, well, we can skip that part.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, next item.
The next item is approval of the minutes of February 9th, 2026.
You have before you the minutes, approval of the minutes of the council meeting for February 9th, 2026. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. Next item.
The next item is a public hearing for a use permit, Truck Terminal 7472 Graham Road. This is a recommendation for mayor and council to approve the use permit request subject to the stated conditions in the staff report. Planning and zoning.
Good evening. I now call to order the public hearing for the use permit request located at 7472 Graham Road. This is a land use matter that requires a quasi-judicial decision. Therefore, our decision tonight must be based on the standards contained in the City of Fairburn zoning ordinance, specifically Section 80-172 regarding use permit considerations, and the applicable supplemental standards under Section 80-239 for truck terminals. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Public hearing is now open. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Staff report.
Good
When
evening.
I ask the Planning Zoning Director to present the staff analysis for the record.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The item before you is a use permit. The location is 7472 Graham Road. The property totals 9.5 acres. The property is currently zoned M2 Heavy Industrial. It is intended to provide, or the industrial zoning district is intended to provide areas for major manufacturing, storage, of substantial amounts of land that require access to major streets and utilities. Within the M2 zoning district, any use permitted in the light industrial use is allowed. The code further lists truck terminals, truck stop as permitted in the M2 zoning district with an approved use permit. The applicant has provided all the necessary documentation for the review. The applicant also hosted a public meeting and notified everyone within 1,000 feet. No participants came to that meeting. That's more than likely because of it's an industrial use surrounded by industrial uses. There are supplemental regulations for truck terminals, truck stops. That includes that the lot, including all structures and parking spaces, must be at least 5 acres. The use is not allowed within 5,000 feet in any direction of an existing similar use. On-site security must be provided 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No long-term storage of trailers or trucks are permitted on the lot, and no overnight or sleeping facilities may be provided on site. The applicant has been made aware of those supplemental regulations and has no issues with those. Again, they did have a public participation meeting or attempted to and sent out notifications to invite any members of the public that were in support or opposition prior to the public meeting here and also the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The use permit considerations, there are quite a few different standards that we look for when considering the use. The location, whether there's sufficient parking, the amount of space, protective screening, hours of operation, surrounding land use, consistency with the comprehensive plan. The analysis discusses all of that. We want to bring attention to a couple of items. One of those is making sure that the requested item is consistent with the comprehensive plan. In this instance, it is. It does have that industrial zoning regulation, and it's surrounded by industrial. The surrounding land uses include M2, M1, M2, M1, and then there are warehouse spaces surrounding it. On the screen, you have the zoning district with the industrial in blue and the light industrial. On the other side, we have the comprehensive plan, which calls for light industrial surrounding this entire area. So in that instance, the applicant does conform to the intended land use and future land use. We do have a number of conditions. Previously, this was overflow parking for one company. In this instance, it would be open to various companies. So we want to make sure that as the business grows, that we have some conditions in there just to add a bit clarity to the supplemental regulations. For instance, as it relates to the on-site security, we are requiring that the applicant submit a plan, not to the planning and zoning, but to public safety, meaning fire and police, to make sure that they have adequate security measures. Vehicles that are inoperable are not permitted on site. The applicant has to, if there's any expansion of parking, has to be paved. No temporary bathrooms or anything of that nature. There has to be adequate plans in terms of if there's a spill, when you have vehicles coming out, you want to make sure that that's there. And of course, if there's any issues with enforcement, we could, there's a clause regarding noncompliance. So we are recommending approval, but with all of those conditions along with the supplemental regulations. The applicant has been given all of these conditions, doesn't have an issue with it, understands the expectations as well. Are there any questions for staff?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, thank you.
Yes, yes, you've addressed the chair, and chair will call you, yes. Yes, Councilwoman Nichols.
Thank you. Yes, so just two things. So despite it being an industrial area and January 12th being our inauguration event, that could have factored in to why there was no community present. So just in the future, if we can make sure that people, our partners, potential partners know like what's happening with the city, because I'm just going to assume the city of Fairburn was at our inauguration or on Zoom for that day. But my other question is around, so you mentioned that this property was used for a different company for parking. Was it for a truck terminal? Can you explain a little bit about I just want to understand the purpose of like the change or what this use permit is different from before.
So previously, the site was overflow parking, so there was a company that used it specifically for their company trucks. Now, this would be open to anyone who has a tractor trailer, and that's a different use within triggers the truck terminal requirements, and also the use permit, the public meetings, and review by mayor and council.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
I have one.
Yes, Councilwoman Benson.
Thank you. Looking at the additional recommendations that was made by Planning and Zoning, what is done to ensure that, since this is open to, multiple truck companies, et cetera, to ensure that those truck companies will be compliant with those rules?
Well, there's one company that's managing all of it, although it's open to the public. There is a company that is held responsible, and ultimately, the property owner is the one who, if there's any issues with compliance, is held accountable. We did ask both public safety if there were any issues, any concerns, and nobody had any concerns. That's one of the things I think is really important when you're talking about a change of use and opening up, just to make sure there isn't a history of security or anything of that nature, or any complaints related to lighting or anything of that nature.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I have
Yes,
one.
Councilman. Perry?
Ms. Brookins, question for had the traffic feasibility study as to how this may impact the local traffic in the area?
We did have our traffic engineers look at the request. It did not trigger any additional traffic analysis.
When you say trigger additional analysis, could you explain that?
Sure. So the city of Fairburn complies with industry standards, GDOT, if there is, for instance, a use that is above and beyond sort of the typical development, there is something that triggers that, and it's the anticipated amount of traffic. In this instance, that wasn't the case, so it didn't trigger any kind of additional analysis as it relates to requiring a transportation plan. Typically, if you're seeing a use that is intensifying the surrounding, or if it's residential, the number of housing units. So for instance, if somebody's building one house, wouldn't necessarily trigger a traffic analysis. But if you're 100, of course, there's going to be a traffic analysis. But because this property has already been in existing use, a great deal of analysis has already kind of gone into the area. So, and that probably also triggered the traffic engineers to say, at this point, it does not warrant any additional analysis.
And my last one, previous ownership, there wasn't any major issues with regard to safety, environmental spills, and vehicles that are just, say, inoperable?
To the best of staff knowledge, no, sir. But we do have those conditions in there because we certainly can't predict the future, but we can encourage compliance and have some conditions that back that up.
Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, Councilwoman Davis?
Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor. I do want to expound a little bit on the concern Councilwoman Nichols had in reference to our citizens being notified. And I wonder if, and I understand that that is an industrial area, but do we have any hard, fast recommendations as to the time? Because the time was at 6 o'clock for a Zoom meeting. Even if there were homes there or citizens there that had a concern, I think that really does not give them enough time to get off from work, get home, and be able to attend a Zoom meeting. So do we have some specifications that it has to be enough time for our citizens to be able to, attend either physically or Zoom? And if not, I'm asking maybe we need to consider that.
I think that's an excellent point as we kind of look at revising our public participation process. This is a process that is not required, it's recommended, but if we want to move forward to making this a requirement, we can certainly make sure that the duration is at a time that allows people to get off work, get home, so if they have any concerns. But that's an excellent point, and we can do that in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Before we proceed, I want to clearly outline the standards that council must apply tonight. Under section 80-172, council must evaluate consistency with the comprehensive plan, compatibility with surrounding zoning and uses, compliance with applicable laws, traffic impacts, parking, open space, screening, hours and manner of operation, lighting, ingress and egress. And I would also ask if attorney could explain that the statement, this is a land use matter that requires a quasi-judicial decision. Could you explain that, please?
Yes, in regards to this being a use permit application, you are constrained to your analysis to the objective criteria that the mayor has just stated. Nothing outside of that should be a part of your analysis because you are in a quasi-judicial capacity tonight.
Any other comments from staff? Applicant, I will now invite the applicant to present its application. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. It's good to see you guys. My name's Joseph Brickman. Address is 312 Sycamore Street, Decatur, Georgia 30030. I'm here on behalf of the owner of this property, Graham Owner LLC. I know you guys have already seen a lot of these documents. You've already asked the right questions, and Director Brookings has done a really good job of showing you and telling you what's going on. It's really not more than that. This is an existing truck terminal, and it proposes to operate in the same way, under same management, same security, with literally zero changes. And I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys have, and I appreciate your consideration.
Are there any questions? Yes,
Just one.
Councilman Smallwood?
You said the same security company. Can you explain to me what security looks like?
Sure. So right now, there's a mix between the lighting that they have at the subject property, as well as the gate security and the screening fences that go around the perimeter of the property to keep, obviously, folks out and keeping all the trucks that are there in. There's folks that work on site as well to ensure that there's no breach of those security fences and the ingress and egress portions.
How many people in, like, what intervals? I mean, is it 24 hours or?
It is, and the code requires 24 hours, and I know that's not only a code requirement, but it's an additional condition of staff's recommended approval.
How many people?
I'm not entirely sure how many are at the same time, but I do know that it's 24/7.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you. Staff, Ms. Brookins, could you just, for the record, just put up the conditions? Could you restate those, please?
Okay. Do we have the presentation? There we go. That's the applicant's presentation. Mine's a bit more colorful.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we have a number of conditions. One of those is on-site security, and we also have a condition that the applicant must present that security plan to both the fire department and the police department. All new truck areas that are paved has to be maintained. There's also a requirement that says there's no inoperable vehicles are permitted on site. The applicant has to have regular trash removal. There's no queuing of trucks along the road and public right-of-way. There's also a requirement for a spill prevention plan, a spill prevention and environmental plan, restrictions as it relates to no truck stop facilities, so no temporary porta-johns or anything of that nature on site. So those are the general conditions recommended by staff.
And when must these conditions be met?
Before the occupational tax is approved. So before they get a business license, they have to adhere to that condition. I will certainly work with them with regard to the spill prevention, because I want to make sure our utilities team and folks that do stormwater management are reviewing that, so I'll rely on their expertise for that timeline. But the remaining conditions would be effective prior to them getting a business license.
Thank you. Are there any, thank you so much, Ms. Brookins. Are there any speakers in support of this use permit, other than the applicant? Are there any speakers in opposition to the use permit? All right, applicant, you're entitled to 5 additional minutes for comments, if you so choose.
I have nothing further unless you guys have any other questions for me, and I'm happy to answer those if you do.
Any additional questions? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing is now closed. All right, is there a motion, I need a motion to approve and/or deny. If you approve, you are making a motion to approve the use permit for 7472 Graham Road, subject to the conditions recommended by staff. and incorporated into the record. If you are wanting to make a motion to deny, you will move to deny the use permit request for 7472 Graham Road based on failure to meet Section 80-172 standards as stated on the record. May I have a motion for approval?
Motion to approve, so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries. This concludes the public hearing for 7472 Graham Road. The decision is based on the standards contained in Chapter 80 of the City of Fairburn zoning ordinance and the evidence presented in the record. Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
The next item is number 4, award ITB 25-026 for on-call tree removal services. The recommendation is for mayor and council to award ITB 25026 on-call tree removal services for the city of Fairburn to M. Mitchell Group, Executive Realty Solutions, Inc., and 123 LLC, and to authorize the mayor to execute the agreements.
Okay, staff, would you just introduce yourself because we have new council members and we may not know all the staff yet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. My name is Gail Higgs. I'm the Director of General Services. I come to you this evening requesting the approval to enter into a contract agreement with 3 tree vendors for on-call services. The invitation for bid for FB 25-026 was released on November 30th, 2025. The bid closed on December 18th of 2025, in which the city received 5 completed proposals. Upon evaluation, the 3 most responsible and responsive vendors were the M. Mitchell Group, Executive Realty Solutions, and 1-2 Tree LLC. Their services would be needed in the event of multiple tree removals or a storm in which the General Services Department needs assistance. They also would be the provider if we need a tree climber for trees over 20 feet, which currently we do not remove trees over 20 feet. Anything that falls over that, then of course we will remove those and dispose of those. But if we have trees that are damaged, then we have to rely on a tree service to remove those. Currently, the funding has been approved in this budget not to exceed $55,000. It is for these reasons that I am seeking the approval of the 3 on-call tree vendors. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those at this time.
Are there questions? Yes, Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Higgs, do we already have an agreement with a tree company for the canopies in the city? Or is this in addition to that, or?
The General Services Department currently do not have an agreement with the canopy clearing. However, the Utilities Department have a contract with the tree service to remove off the power lines.
Okay, so you do not?
No,
Your General Services do not have any agreement or anything in reference to when trees fall during storms or anything like that?
No, ma'am. We currently take care of those ourselves within the department.
You normally take care of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. How often do that exist? I mean, an issue where you have to,
Generally during a storm, or I work with planning and zoning and the arborist if they identify trees that need to be removed. If they're within the 20 feet height requirement that we can remove, we do that. Currently, we have several trees in Duncan Park that are over 20 feet that need to be removed at this time.
okay, all right, thank you.
Other questions? Yes, Councilwoman Nichols.
Thank you. Hi, nice to meet you.
As well.
So I have 2 questions. Well, one, I think this is really a great idea because as we know, these trees are affecting our utilities and power, so being proactive, I commend you all, so thank you for bringing this to us. But my question was around, so the contract, it mentioned emergency and scheduled repairs. Is it not going to be for preventative? Like if we already know there's certain trees, would that this 55,000 budget cover that as well, or is it just one? Is it?
It's all inclusive.
It's all, okay.
The trees that we have already identified at Duncan Park will fall within that cost that we already have approved.
Okay, perfect, perfect. And then my next question is, where do we get the 55,000 number from? What if, like, how are we, this is for a year, this fiscal year, so like, how are we, if we exceed, or, like, I'm just curious to know, like, how that number came to be.
So the $55,000 came based off of last year,
Okay.
of what we were able to do in-house. We were able to do more in-house than we thought we would, so we had to kind of lessen that amount just a little bit, because I have more staff this year than I had last year, so I'm able to do a little bit more than I was last year.
Okay, thank you.
I would just add to that, Councilwoman Nichols, when we do those budgetary proposals, it is based on the previous year, but weather being unpredictable, there's always a possibility that we could have a rash of storms where there are a lot of tree removals, and in that instance, we would come back to council to seek additional funding. So that's kind of our target number, and it works based on what we did last year. But if we were to have a need to exceed that, we'd come back to council for further authorization.
That was my next question, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, yes, Councilman Perry?
So I just want to say, I think this was a great job here. I think it was over 500 proposals that were out there, and you narrowed that down to a respectable number, and then you came to the 5. And looking at the numbers, I guess, of the estimates for the different services, for the number of the sizes of the different trees and things of that nature, I noticed that all of them weren't consistent. Like, some of them looked like per hour, and another one would have it, I guess, per job. Was all of that taken into consideration when you came to?
It was all taken into consideration. We factored in the equipment that would be needed, depending on the type of service that was needed. Some offered more of a equipment-based removal as opposed to actually having climbers do the removing. So it did factor into the cost as to what would be more expensive. But we did take all of that into consideration when we were doing our analysis.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it, and great job on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, if there are no further questions, may I have a motion regarding awarding ITB-25-026 for on-call tree removal services to include 3 contractors for on-call, and that would be M. Mitchell Group, Executive Realtor Solutions, and 1-2 Tree LLC.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Is there approval?
All in favor?
All in favor? Oh.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's what I said. Sorry, Mayor. Okay. Okay. If I may say, I was forewarned by another mayor that said, you don't know how difficult this is going to be. Okay. So that voice is in my head, but I'll get the hang of this. All right, yes, so it has been moved, second, and approved to accept this. Thank you so much, Ms. Higgs.
Thank you all.
Okay.
I know it's been approved, so that's not, I had one, can I ask a question?
Well, is that allowed?
All right,
Okay,
go.
all right.
I'll ask her offline.
No, okay, then
I'll ask
thank you.
offline. I'll
Thank
ask
you,
offline.
thank you. All right. We don't want to set a new standard. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
all right.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
All right, next item, please.
The next item is number 5, benefits renewal for 2026. The recommendation is for mayor and council to approve to proceed with the recommended renewal offerings and implementation of the 2026 Employee Benefits Plan. Human Resources.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of council.
Good
The
evening.
item-
You are.
I am Talisha Champagne, the Human Resources Director.
Thank you.
The item before you tonight is to allow for you all to approve the 2026 benefits renewal. Each year, the Human Resources Department, along with and in partnership with our city administration, our office, our finance director, and our current broker, which is the Warren Group, we get together to kind of talk through benefit strategy and renewal of our employees' benefit plans. And we look at designing a benefit plan that we believe is beneficial and within the well-being of our employees. This year, for our 2026 renewal, it includes the following. Our Cigna medical renewal came back at a 4% increase. Our dental renewal came back at a 5% increase. Our Cigna vision renewal came back with no increase at all. Our Unum, which is our life and our disability plans, there were no increase there because we have a 3-year guarantee rate. And our health reimbursement account, along with our flex spending account, there were no changes there as well. I'm going to pause here and allow our client manager, Ms. Jamila Mathis, to come up and present to you additional information related to our 2026 renewal, and the presentation is before you tonight.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council members. It's good to see you all again. I would like to also invite my team up, Joe and Kimmy, to present to you all our renewal benefits for the 2026 plan year. Just a clicker. So for this meeting, we'll go through the executive summary renewal contribution strategy, what that looks like, renewal plan designs, and then there's an appendix. We are your Baldwin team. There's one missing up here, Leanne, who works on day-to-day benefits, but I am Jamila Mathis, the client manager. Joe Harris is the advisor, and then Cammie Hanford is our client executive. Okay, so for the renewal this year, as Talisha said, the renewal actually came in at an 8% increase over current. Through our partnership with Cigna, we were able to negotiate and reduce that and cut that in half to a 4% renewal. The projected impact of that increase was around $283,000 after negotiations. I'm sorry, I'm struggling to see that from here. It was reduced in half by the 4%. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Talisha. And that was actually a 53% reduction overall to that renewal that we did in negotiations. Thank you, Talisha. The total savings received from that is $150,000 that we were able to negotiate in savings from the renewal that was initially released, and that's on the medical renewal itself. Additionally, we negotiated wellness funds for the city of Fairburn, so the city of Fairburn already had wellness funds. We had an increase to that, so you now have $30,000 in wellness funds for the city for the plan year. That's over a $7,500 increase from the previous year. Okay. Your dental renewal was up for renewal this year as well. That came in at an 8.5% increase over the current rates. Through our partnership with Cigna, we were able to reduce that to a 5% increase. The projected impact was $12,298, and we were able to reduce that. It's a 41% reduction. So that was a savings of $5,319. So the final premium increase altogether, with the city absorbing those increases and not passing those along to employees, the total increase for the dental is $7,589. And then, as Talisha pointed out, the vision is in a rate lock, so there's no increases to the visions. There's no plan changes to these benefits. The benefits operate the same as they did the previous year before, and those are the increases to the medical and the vision. The visions, there's no changes. For the Unum benefits, those are your ancillary benefits, which are your worksite benefits, your accident, your critical illness, your hospital, your basic life, your voluntary life. There's no changes to that. There's no rate increases to those benefits either. You do also have value-added benefits that we put in place, which is we call Corp Care, the EAP or Employee Assistance Programs. That's when you may have seen one of the vendors come out on site whenever there's a death and they do the counseling, grief. Those value-added benefits are not changing as either. There's no increases to the rates on those as well. Any questions about those benefits before I move on?
Yes, Councilwoman Davis?
Yes, in reference to the increases, the original increases that they wanted to apply, was that due to market or was it due to us, the city of Fairburn?
Your loss ratio was 101%, so that was taken in consideration. What that means, for every dollar of premium you pay, the Cigna was paying for every $1, Cigna's paying $1.01. So they look for a target loss ratio of 75% to 80%. You're at 101. So when they came in at 8.5, they were saying, hey, this is a great renewal. The loss ratio is 101%. And Jamila said, no, we need to half that. And she was able to negotiate the 4%. She did a great job.
Awesome, Jamila, thank you.
So, and what that means is for every dollar, basically when you think about insurance, I say this every year at our open enrollment meetings, but insurance is insurance, whether it's your homeowner's insurance, your auto insurance. They're looking at how much did we pay out in premiums versus how much did we pay out in claims versus how much did we pay in premiums. So what she's saying, for every dollar that they paid out, they spent more paying out in premiums that they collected. Generally, we'll see an increase in the premium the same way you would your home autos or homeowners insurance. But we were able to negotiate that down.
I know you must be a great negotiator, especially with insurance. Thank you.
Other questions? Yes, Councilwoman Nichols.
Hi, I have a question around how often are we looking at other providers outside of Cigna to compare pricing and use that in negotiation, or?
We did a full marketing 2 years ago, I believe, is when we moved from United Healthcare to Cigna. So we just 2 years ago moved from United Healthcare to Cigna. So we will do a full marketing based on the renewals, based on how the administrators is with the staff, and based on what we're seeing in the market.
And are we doing like internal staff surveys to see how our staff is satisfied with the benefits, to kind of get a feel around, like, we don't want Cigna anymore, we want Blue Cross Blue Shield, or just anything to see what's more important to our staff, so we could also negotiate it that way?
Thank you, Councilwoman Nichols. Yes, as a matter of fact, when we transitioned over to Cigna, one of the things that happened during that enrollment is that we enhanced our dental benefits. We had employees that came back and had questions about some of the dental services, and so we were able to enhance that. We don't just do surveys once a year. We connect with our employees throughout the year. And holistically, when we came back, I meet with our client manager and the Baldwin team twice a month, and we're providing them feedback from our employees, letting them know that Cigna is responsive, that their claims are being processed timely, so we've gotten really good feedback.
Thank you.
A question.
Yes, Councilwoman Benson.
Now, making sure that I don't violate any HIPAA laws, as I ask this question, how proactive is the city in evaluating the health and wellness of our staff? I know, as claims are processed, of course, insurance companies are saying, oh, well, this person had a heart attack. This person, had shows signs of a stroke. This person has a family history of this, and they take that seriously. So are there wellness incentives for our employees to try to, bring that number down?
Come up, but I will say that the city of Fairburn is very proactive with their wellness planning. Out of all the clients that I manage or that I have, they do the most. They do a lot for the city. There's on-site dental cleanings. We had the health wear fair that we partnered with, where we had the sound bath. We had a farmer's market come out. We do also look at claims and review those. Those are released at least twice a month. So we do look at the claims and look at what the cost drivers are, and we try to tackle that from a wellness standpoint as far as what type of resources are available in the community, and with our partnership with Cigna, what type of resources are available that we can explore to the employees.
And thank you, Councilwoman Benson. To that point, I will share with you that when I first arrived here as the assigned Human Resources Director, our wellness dollars was only at $5,000. And so in this short period of time, you've seen an increase from $5,000 to last year, $21,500, and to this year, $30,000. And what that means is that the city is doing a really good job as it relates to building a robust wellness program.
May I follow up on that?
Yes, please.
How often are the employees, the staff, taking advantage of that?
We have initiatives all the time. As Ms. Jamila just mentioned, one of the great things about Cigna is that we also have coaches. And so when we're looking at, oftentimes we are meeting twice a month, we're looking at claims analysis. Of course, we're not getting names related to those claims, but we are looking at those claims analysis. And what that does is that helps us to be able to kind of target different initiatives that we need to put on, such as Heart Health Month, blood pressure checks. I can tell you that last year when we did blood pressure checks, we saved lives. We partnered with our fire department here in the city. We also partnered with the health department where we came in and we didn't just do education. We actually did blood pressure checks. We provided incentives and we saved lives that day. So we're doing a lot here in the city as it relates to our wellness program.
Very good. Thank you.
I would add to that, if I could, Mayor, that we try as best we can to manage all of the wellness factors and encourage our employees to take advantage of them, because there's the possibility of having an impact in those areas. What also impacts our renewal typically are things that we cannot control. Chronic illnesses, catastrophic illnesses, claims that go beyond the dollar amount that you typically see on most claims, and those also have impact on our yearly renewals. Our broker has done an excellent job, and year over year, what we've typically seen is a cadence where the renewal estimates will come in at a higher rate, and then we kind of settle in on something fortunately a little bit more reasonable. This particular year is a really low renewal for us. In previous years, some of your colleagues will tell you we've seen 11, 12, 15% renewals. So to be at 4 and 5% is a sigh of relief. You know probably this generally, healthcare costs are going up exponentially every year, everywhere. So for us to be where we are is fortunate at this juncture, and hopefully we can maintain that going forward.
Well said, Mr. Phillips. I also want to mention that that $30,000 in wellness, Jamila also negotiated that today. So I just want you to know that she's done a lot of hard work here.
Generally, Jamila's are really good. So.
Run the power, right, Ms. Chris? To piggyback off of that, I do want to say that you are in a great spot. When Mr. Phillips talked about 11 and 10% and 14%, what you don't see is those renewals came in at 25%, 26%, 27%. And what we saw last year for the insurance industry has been insanely different. When you saw the government shut down for insurance, we saw increases at 120%, 89% renewals, 50% renewals, 30% renewals, and we're still seeing that this year. So you are in a great position, and hopefully your claims will remain the same.
The other benefit to that is we're able to budget for those increases at these nominal rates increases and not increase the cost to our employees. Because as I'm sure you know, at the end of the day, this affects take-home pay. Right. And if health insurance costs escalate seriously, it impacts our staff and what they get to take home every payday. And so it's another fortunate thing for the city that we're able to manage this at the level that it is, so that we have the budget in place already approved to absorb those additional nominal increases without passing along those increases to our staff.
Other comments? Yes, Councilwoman Hauser.
I just want to say thank you so much for that 4 and 5%. I understand how things are, health insurance, and it's very expensive now. And I don't know how you did your calculations, but thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, Councilwoman Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Another comment, just wanted to piggyback on Mr. Phillips' comment. There's not too many companies, organizations that will not pass on that increase to their employees. And this is what the city of Fairburn does for their employees and our staff. And I think it is a tremendous thing, and you really need to be congratulated on that, because the norm is to pass it on. But we see, and our administration sees the value in taking care of our staff, because it costs more money to go out and get another person than it does to keep one. And I'm glad that they see that, because that is definitely a benefit, not only to them, but it's also a benefit to the city and how we deliver our services to our citizens. So that's a plus, and I just had to add that, Mr. Phillips.
Any other comments?
Just a
Yes.
few more slides. The next
Yes,
slide that you
please.
see here just walks right into what your rates look like for the 2026 plan year. So you do have the medical plan option, the dental and the vision plan option. You basically have a great medical plan because of the HRA. Are you okay, ma'am? You have the HRA. You have the HRA benefit, which reimburses that deductible. So you have-
Acronyms, please. Sorry.
Yes, ma'am. Health reimbursement account. So the health reimbursement account reimburses 2,500 of that.
Forgive the interruption, Jamila. Just, can you explain a little bit about what the healthcare reimbursement account is?
Yes, the health reimbursement account is sort of like a flexible spending account or health savings account, but this is actually money that the city puts aside and reimburses employees. So when they go to the doctor, if you have a $3,000 deductible and you have to go into the emergency room or you have to have surgery and you're looking at that $3,000 deductible, the city is paying $2,500 of that. So instead of a $3,000 deductible, you really only have a $500 deductible. It's a very generous benefit. It is not something that the employees are paying for. It's something that the city is paying for on behalf of the employees. So, and so when what you see up here are what those rates look like for the 2020 plan year, and we just kept those rates the same for the employees. All right, and then these are just your plan designs to let you know what the plan design looks like. And I just talked about your $3,000 deductible, so that's what that looks like. And then you'll see what your copays are if you have to go to the doctor. You do have a good plan where you don't have an HMO plan. You don't need a gatekeeper or a primary care physician to go to see the doctor. You can just regularly go to the doctor and pay your $30 copay for a regular doctor or $60 copay for a specialist. So what you'll see here is what the current renewal look like, what the current plan is with the renewal, and then what we negotiated, which is all the same. There's no changes to those plan designs. The next one is your dental. There's no changes to your dental benefits, so you have great benefits. Preventative is covered at 100%. Your maintenance is covered at 80%, and then any major services will be covered at 50%. And then your vision, to Talicia's point, we did enhance the dental. We also enhanced your basic life, I think, a year or so ago by increasing that as well for employees. No changes to your vision. And then what you'll see in the appendix, is the renewal, actual history of the renewal. So it kind of gives you what I was talking to before, where your renewals are come in at and where we've reduced those year over year. And these 2 pages will go all the way back to 2018 to current. So you can view that. Any particular questions about the benefits that we've gone over today?
If I could just make one last comment about, you'll see, I think we've been the broker for City of Fairburn since 2009. So you can see, we have this exhibit up from 2018, and you can see how we've saved the city money, we've saved the taxpayers' money, because whenever a renewal came in, we negotiated it down. And we worked hard for you. We have a great partnership with you, and I hope that can continue as we move forward.
Actually, I would echo that, given that, I served on council for 12 years, and so I've been a part of that long history. And I can say emphatically how the Baldwin Group has worked really hard to keep the increases affordable and reasonable for us. You must realize that we are a small group, and one catastrophic illness has a huge impact on us. And so that's why wellness is just so important. Early detection and prevention is very, very important. So I want to applaud Ms. Champagne and her group and working with the Baldwin Group in, one, increasing the wellness benefit because it was a heavy lift to even get a wellness program established here in the city of Fairburn. And the fact that we've gone now from 5, but we started even lower than that, to, you know, the 30,000 that we have now is just super, super fantastic. And then the last thing I want to say is that talking about benefits is talking about total compensation that an employee receives. Not just the income or the take-home pay, but the benefits that are offered, because the more benefits that we can offer, the more they can use the take-home pay that they have. And so I, in my meetings with all of the departments, I talked a lot about total compensation, and that employees need to realize, and I hope they have an understanding and appreciation of these additional benefits that we offer. And quite frankly, some of them are not taking advantage of this. And so I've had a conversation with staff about increasing conversations about that. And so we're going to be rolling out programming to help educate and to remind, to make sure that employees take advantage of all the benefits that this body has approved on their behalf. So again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Any other comments? All right. You have before you recommendation to approve the renewal offerings and implementation of the 2026 Employee Benefits Plan. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? That motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
The next item is number 6, award ITB number 25-023 for benefits broker and consultant services. The recommendation is for mayor and council to award ITB 25-023 for benefits broker and consultant services to NFP and Aon Company, and to authorize the mayor to execute the agreement.
Go ahead.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
The item before you here tonight is more about transparency and our commitment to that. As you've heard, our current broker has been with us, actually, I believe, since 2006. Because of our commitment, we wanted to make sure that we went out there and vetted to see what additional resources and or what additional brokerage consultant services that were out there. We worked with our purchasing department, and under our purchasing guidelines, we submitted an ITB that was properly vetted. With that ITB, that was done on October 30th of 2025. The bid was posted for 3 weeks. 471 vendors were notified regarding the opportunity to submit a proposal, to include also our current broker was also invited to participate in that bid. 49 vendors partially or completed a download of the solicitation, and then we had 11 vendors to respond to the solicitation. Of that, NFP, which is an Aon company, was proven to be the most responsive and responsible vendor with the highest technical score. I'm going to pause there and ask Mr. Bradshaw, along with additional team members from NFP, just to step in and just take a moment to introduce yourself and talk just briefly as it relates to the scope of services.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Thank you for the time. As Talisha mentioned, my name is Bart Shaw with NFP, an Aon company, so a lot of acronyms, a lot of names out there that you may have heard of, but just to give you a little background, our company started back in 1963. I wasn't working there, but in a little town in North Georgia, Cartersville, Georgia. And we 60-plus years been in the business of working with entities building their benefits packages, but the last 30 years have been specifically focused on public entities. So everything that was mentioned earlier, we fully understand that this is your greatest resource to retain and recruit employees. And Mayor, I commend you for highlighting the total compensation. A lot of times employees find themselves looking at hourly or salary, wages, and maybe looking at some other opportunities down the street, whether it be with other municipalities or even other counties, but they may not realize what they're giving up by way of benefits, retirement, the complete package. And so just one of the pieces that we bring to the table is a nice illustration, very colorful, picture's worth 1,000 words, but it actually indicates to that employee that, you know, the $45,000 annual earnings is really more in line with around $65,000, $67,000 when we look at the total compensation, right? So obviously we want to provide them with as much information as they can, you know, need to make good, sound decisions, but we just want to make sure they realize the value here, because again, another point that you made, I think it was you, Councilwoman, that it costs so much to replace, to train, and to have that turnover cycle. Sometimes it happens. If we can retain those employees, that's what we want to do. So scope of services was part of the response in the RFP there from the city of Fairburn. And basically, it just lists out everything that we pledged to do and what we've done with some 50-plus entities in the state of Georgia alone, some smaller entities and some larger entities. Very familiar with your current carriers, Cigna, Unum, Admin America, Medcom, the list goes on and on. But we have great relationships with all of those companies. So, for example, a couple of entities that we currently are partnering with Cigna with are City of Ackworth, Georgia, City of Roswell, Georgia, City of Johns Creek, just to name a few. But we work alongside your Human Resources Department. We want to be a face that's interactive with your employees and the staff, meeting them at their needs, minimizing disruption, but really to be an educational piece. Given the information and communicate it effectively, your teammates can make the right decisions for what they need for their families. A lot of times we're just handed information and asked to review it and then make a decision. And it's not that we don't or aren't able to comprehend it, but maybe we just have a generic question. What is a deductible? How does that really come into play? My wife's going to have a baby. This is our first time at this. What does that look like for us? So again, just being there to advocate and making sure that everybody with the city of Fairburn realizes that we work for the city of Fairburn. We don't work for Cigna or Unum or Anthem or United Healthcare or any other companies, but yeah, we work for you, the city of Fairburn. We also are a huge proponent in wellness. So much so that we have our own wellness consultant. She's dynamite. I wish she could be here tonight. She would be much easier to look at than me and much more cheerful. But that's her piece is wellness and everything wellness. Partnering with local resources as well as state resources, maximizing those dollars that were mentioned earlier about your wellness funds, how to get the most out of those dollars to give back to the city of Fairburn, to the employees. And then also engage the employees. Because to that point, from a preventative standpoint, obviously we want healthier employees and more active employees. But if we can prevent some of those shock claims, sometimes we're walking around and we don't realize that we have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. We just think, I'm 45 years old and put in a day's work and I'm tired. Right? But if we can encourage them to do the primary care visits, the routine visits to understand their health makeup, we might be able to prevent those high dollar claims, those shock claims, plus put them in a much better position for, a long, healthy life. I've spoken a lot. This is Chris Jackson, works alongside with me. We have an entire team office downtown in Atlanta, but happy to answer any questions that you may have or address any concerns.
Any questions? Okay, yes, Councilwoman Benson.
Hi. So let's talk about what you had just discussed about encouraging employees to basically to take their own health into account. What do you all do on your side to actually do that? Do you sponsor health fairs? Do you make recommendations? Do you have newsletters?
All of the
Let me not
yes, ma'am.
fill in all of those blanks.
Very, very heavy on communication as well as engagement, but also utilizing local resources. So, there are larger companies, obviously the big hospitals, the big providers want to partake in that and give back, but there are also local resources here in the city of Fairburn that we lean to just to bring in partnership. Right? On top of that, we got a dozen or more that have been highly, represented, and the Atlanta Business Chronicle puts on the healthiest employer each year. They break that up into different segments. So they have small employers, mid-sized companies, and then your large companies. That way, from a wellness perspective, the city of Fairburn maybe isn't competing with Delta, but in your respected area, the same similar size employees, if we put forth the effort and get our employees engaged, we'd like to be able to be recognized for that. What do we do? So we help facilitate that. There's an application, there's a process. Ebony does a fantastic job with that, understanding, where your baseline is, what have we done in this past year, but also from a strategic standpoint, how do we plan, we want to be very proactive. So on a monthly basis, we're meeting, not only are we consulting around health insurance, dental insurance, and that aspect, but we're also meeting from a wellness perspective. What is, the month of May, what are some areas that we can highlight? What about June? What about July? So there's a full calendar built out as far as activities, lunch and learns. I think you mentioned the farmer's market, all of those, the jet dental, obviously there's mobile mammography. I mean, all of those pieces, bringing it again to the city of Fairburn, minimizing disruption. Because if we're asking employees to take time away, there's only two places they can get that time. That's either on the clock or off the clock, right? And usually if they're not working, they'd rather be doing something else. So if we can bring it to them and engage them that way, we may be able to encourage them to set up those annual dental visits, that are so beneficial even on the health side of things. A vision screening. A lot of times, pick on myself, guys, we just don't want to do it, right? But when we do, we find out that it wasn't so bad and, hey, learned something about myself, so.
Very good, thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Hauser. Oh, okay.
So I heard you mention partnership.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you saying that you're pretty much looking to partnership with the city of Fairburn pertaining to wellness and healthcare?
Absolutely.
Okay, could you just elaborate on that partnership piece a little more for me?
Yeah, so most definitely want to establish a relationship with this governing body, obviously your leadership team, but every employee. We want to be the face that they recognize when they think about their health insurance, their dental insurance, becoming their broker, and longevity. So we have many clients that we've had for decades, right? But it comes with having interaction with those teammates and, taking calls on Saturday afternoon, Sunday evenings, to where they say, I hate to bother you, but I'm at the pharmacy. My prescription, it's not going through. We have contacts that we can reach out to. It may not happen on a Sunday evening, but it's already got the ball rolling. Sometimes we can, right? Or, make outbound calls to providers to explain a situation so that it's just a smooth process when that member, that employee, or even a family member goes to have services rendered. So more than just a consultant and bringing numbers to the table and advocating for the city of Fairburn to try to negotiate and provide you the most competitive numbers, but really partnering with you all and all of the employees and their family members too.
Thank you.
Any other, yes, Councilwoman Nichols.
Hi, thank you. So just for clarification, the people that was just here, the Baldwin Group, we are trying to, or replacing with, okay. I just started to like them. All right, so, just for also like, were they?
What was your question was, complete the question
Yeah,
so we have it for the
Bal-
record.
Oh, yeah, so the Baldwin Group that just presented, we are moving forward or recommending to replace with NFP.
Yes, and I'm going to allow
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Champagne to elaborate on that. But one of the things that she mentioned earlier, I just wanted to clarify, is the Baldwin Group had been with us since,
Around 2006.
so generally speaking, in local
what year?
government, 20-year vendors with no competitive solicitation is not best practice. We really appreciate what Baldwin Group has done for us, and they did do a good job. But to be responsible to our taxpayers, we periodically need to do that. And I'll be transparent with you and tell you it should be more than every 20 years. And so that's not to disparage anything the Baldwin Group did, but it was time. We went to market. as you were suggesting earlier, to see where we ended, and that's how we ended up here today. Slightly awkward that they were here the item before. I understand that, but just wanted to clarify how we got
Be
here.
on the same
Champagne?
page.
And I also, again, just kind of want to mention that we, during the IATB process, because we do have a close working relationship with the Baldwin team, we did invite them because they did partner with us to submit their proposal as well. And as you see here, of all of the vendors that either downloaded or participated or provided an actual proposal, NFP is before you today because they were deemed the vendor that had the highest technical score and that was most responsive.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the record, talk about the overlap of the two. When does Baldwin end and NFP begins?
Effective the date that you approve.
Immediately.
Your word, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so, not clear either, actually.
So, if I could add some
yes,
clarity. If you approve the item that's before you, they start tomorrow.
Okay, but what did we prove in item?
You approved the benefit renewal. You didn't approve Baldwin Group.
I see, okay.
You approved the renewal with Cigna for dental,
Okay.
vision, and healthcare. Baldwin helped facilitate the renewal, as NFP will do going forward.
Okay.
What you approved in the previous item is the 4% and 5% increases intended to our renewal for Cigna. That was for the benefit itself.
Okay, very good. All
And that-
right, yes.
And I'm sorry, to your point, and what was mentioned here through Mr. Shaw, they have working relationships already with Cigna, so of course, we will be looking to implement this where it's minimal disruption to our employees.
Okay, all right. Wait, Councilwoman Davis. Nichols, were you finished?
Yes, sorry.
Okay,
yeah, They
yes.
clarified it in
Okay,
that
thank you.
statement. Thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Davis.
All right, thanks,
Yes.
Mayor.
Add
It's,
Wait,
hold
just a
on.
minute. Wait, do you want to add to the, so let him add to her comment, and then you may ask.
Understanding that this was going to be placed on the agenda this evening, as well as item 5, we took it upon ourselves to, off the public forum, grab those numbers. Our team has already begun creating an enrollment guide, so we gambled. We are betting on your approval so that we're ready to go first thing in the morning, and we can rock and roll. You guys have open enrollment scheduled coming up in a couple weeks in March. We will be sitting on go anticipating that. If we gambled wrong, then obviously we'll leave those digital files in our keeping and keep moving. So.
Just real quick, I'm sorry, for Councilwoman Nichols, I just wanted to provide a little bit more clarity. The Baldwin Group was also here tonight because they were responsible for the renewal. And we wanted to make sure that they remain committed to this process and making sure that the benefit renewal was presented to you as they would whether we went for an ITB or not. Wanted to make sure that they still provided you all the information related to the work that they did do on this 2026 renewal as it relates to costs, any increases in the rates, and because they had more knowledge of the actual renewal itself. Now, if they were not here, I was prepared because I worked so closely with them, but I am grateful that they were here tonight to present that to you.
Councilwoman Davis.
Yes, Ms. Champagne. Yeah, it seems like Councilwoman Nichols and I brain are alike with stuff. My thing, and you asked the question very gingerly. I appreciate that. Can you tell me? I can understand the transparency. I can understand. You don't need to stay with the same company or provider forever and ever. But can you work with our brokers, you work with our benefits much closer, you and administration does. So I need to know what's the reason for NFP as opposed to Baldwin, which they've been with us for a long time. What did you see to give you that inspiration to go for this change? I need to be comfortable with this.
Yes, ma'am. Based on my knowledge and experience with working in benefits, class and comp, I can tell you that a lot of the services that I provided under my tenure here has not been provided in the city prior to. I can tell you that through our benefits and our assigned HR specialist who's in the back of the room, Ms. Ashley, kind of wave your hand. In hiring Ms. Ashley, we have added more customer service to our employees to where they're not having to just kind of pick up the phone to speak with someone over the phone, that they have someone here on site that can speak to their questions, something going array as it relates to their benefit elections. And what we do is in those situations in where we have to escalate an issue, then we typically would escalate that to our broker. While I have enjoyed the partnership that we've had with the Ballroom Group, I cannot stress again that it was definitely time for us to be transparent and really kind of be committed to you all as a body and to our employees to see what else is out there. I can tell you that NFP came in with the highest technical score and the most responsive because of what they offer. And they are going to be very beneficial to our employees. Mr. Shaw just mentioned here as it relates to our wellness. I can tell you, as Mayor Portis Jones just mentioned, when I got here, our wellness program had to be built up. And that came under my leadership in partnership with our city administration office and through you all's help and approval, a lot of the initiatives that we have here. That was a heavy lift. But I can also tell you that if you award the agreement with NFP on tonight, I can tell you that they have more resources, a broader team. They have someone that is actually dedicated to work with us to enhance our wellness program. They also have, as you see here tonight, team members, and not all of them are here. Some of them just could not be here. They have more team members that will be able to work more collaboratively with us as relates to really reviewing our claims to ensure that our benefits are ACA compliant, to be more strategic with me as it relates to looking at those claims analysis and being able to produce a more strategic benefits renewal.
Okay.
If I could add additionally to that.
Okay.
So this went through a formal solicitation process through the finance department. And so there was a formal solicitation, formal bid submitted, with the selection committee and technical scores. And I want to take a moment to commend Ms. Champagne and her staff. When I got here 4 years ago, wellness dollars were at $5,000 and they've been there for years. The reason they're at $30,000 a day, if I can be very transparent with you, is your HR staff. Push that. The dental event, the farmer's market, the health fair that we do every year, that's your HR department. So I want to be as transparent as I can. I'm grateful for the work Baldwin did. It was a partnership, and we advocated for $30,000 in wellness dollars, which allows us to do a farmer's market. It allows us to, we brought a dental company on site, set up examinations and did teeth cleanings in the administration building.
Remember that, yeah.
So our staff partner with Baldwin, as I'm sure they will with NFP, to make those things happen. And so we went through this process, again, because we wanted to be transparent and see what the market could bring us.
Right.
We're going to hold NFP to the same standard we held Baldwin to. And I don't mind saying this in front of NFP.
More so, a higher standard.
Our standards do not change based on who our selection is.
Absolutely.
We will expect everything we got and more.
Yes.
And you can rest assured that that will not waver.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms.
You're welcome.
Champagne. I appreciate you making me feel comfortable with this. And also, Mr. Phillips, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Councilwoman, yes, Nichols.
Yes, just for clarity, can you explain when it says no additional cost will be incurred? So what is the cost situation here? Just
Yes, so there are, and Bart can come up and provide some additional context as well. There are some brokers that will actually charge a fee related to their services. NFP mirrored similar services that the Ballroom Group did, in which they are commission-based. So our renewal fees and rates is already embedded with the commission that will be provided to the company. So the city is not paying NFP, nor did we, the Baldwin Group, directly from the city. They're paid directly from the carriers.
okay, thank you.
You done? Nichols, okay. And I will also say that one of the things that I have been talking to Mr. Phillips and Ms. Chris and Ms. Champagne about is, again, our employees don't maximize the benefits that we provide them. And what I've discovered is a lot of them don't really understand the benefits or how to access them or what it means. And we've got increasing number of younger single employees who don't see the same value in the prevention and all of that that some of the more mature employees. And so part of what they've been challenged to do, I've asked them to do, is to embark upon a series of educational sessions so that employees can truly understand the benefit that they're being offered. Again, it's about the total compensation, right? And that will help us when it's time to talk salary, and that issue will be coming up as well. So this is part of that entire process. And so education is really, really important, but the team to do that is because, now staff can be released to focus on some of the other things because NFP will do some of the heavy lifting relative to educating our employees. Hand-holding, I will say. Yes. Mhm. Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, any other comments from you? All right, you have before you item number 6, award ITP number 25-023 for benefits broker and consultant services. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is approved. Next item?
The next item is appointments to the Ethics Board. The recommendation is for mayor and council to appoint members to the Ethics Board. Under Section 2.35I1A, the composition of the Ethics Board is 7 residents who shall have been a resident of the city for at least 1 year immediately preceding the date of his or her appointment and shall remain a resident of the city. No person shall serve on the board if he or she has had within the preceding 1 year period any interest in any contract, transaction, or official action of the city.
You have before you item number 7, appointments to the Ethics Board. I will ask each member of this body to name the individuals that they are appointing to the Ethics Board. Starting with Councilman Perry,
My appointment would be Mr. Lee Walton.
Benson,
Michelle James.
Hauser, Rodney. What's Rodney's last name?
Mr. Rodney Anderson.
Rodney Anderson,
Rodney
yes.
Anderson.
Ms. Hauser. And my appointment is Tony Smith. Councilwoman Davis?
My appointment is still within her time frame. Her term doesn't expire until 2027. That is Ms. Vera Racklin.
Ms. Nichols? Councilwoman Nichols?
Ms. Maya Olson.
And Mayor Pro Tem Smallwood?
Apostle Danita Jones.
Okay. And for the record, these appointments were required because our ordinance state that the appointments are consistent with the terms of the elected official who appointed them. So my term as council ended in December of 2025, and so I had an appointment to do a new appointment, which is a reappointment. The same is true for Mayor Pro Tem Smallwood. Councilwoman Nichols is new term. Councilwoman Hauser, new term. Councilwoman Benson, new term. And Councilman Perry, new term. So I just wanted to state for the reason why we're having to do this the way we're doing it. So no vote is required. We're just presenting for the record.
We do need
Is
a
that
vote.
correct?
We do need a vote, Mayor.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, all right, so, all right. You have before you the names of the individuals appointed to the Ethics Board by the sitting mayor and council. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
So, Madam Clerk, would you, that motion has been approved, but for the record, would you please state the name of the appointee and whom that appointee was appointed by?
Mayor Portis Jones has appointed Tony Smith. Mayor Pro Tem Smallwood appointed Apostle Danita Jones. Councilmember Benson appointed Michelle James. Councilmember Davis remained with Vera Ragland. Councilmember Hauser appointed Rodney Anderson. Councilmember Perry appointed Mr. Lee Walton, and Councilmember Nichols appointed Maya Osen. Mayor.
All right, thank you so much. All right, that motion has been approved. Next item, please.
The next item is the Finance Director Monthly Report.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
My name is Kenneth Abida. I'll be presenting the finance report for the period ended January 31st, 2026. The revenue exceeded expenditure by 7.4 million. That is the revenue collected. Year to date, the general fund revenue received was 16, as at the end of January, was 16.1 million against the expenditure disbursed of 8.6 million. As of January, as at the end of January, the city has collected 43.8% of the budgeted revenue as against 23.6% of the budgeted expenditures. On the next page, you'll see a two-year comparison of the total revenue as against the total expenditure, giving us an unaudited budget fund balance of 30.27 million. The next page gives us the general fund revenue for January of 2026. It gives us the budgeted amount, the month to date, the year to date amount, and the percentage difference. As you can see at the bottom, we have a total of 43.8% of the budgeted revenue collected. And the next page gives us the expenditure as well. We have the budgeted amount, the month to date, year to date, and the percentage disbursed as 22.63% of the total disbursement for the month of January. Then we have the enterprise fund for the same period, 31st January 2026. The City of Fairburn Enterprise Fund for January 2026, year-to-date revenue exceeded expenditure by $2.3 million. The year-to-date enterprise fund revenue received total $9.3 million as against the disbursed expenditure of $7 million. As at the end of January, the city had collected 34% of the budgeted revenue, and the city and disbursed 25% of the budgeted expenditures. The page you're looking at right now shows the revenue and the expenditure. It gives us the the budgeted revenue, the month to date, year to date, and the percentage. And as you can see, we have 34% of the revenue collected as against 25% of the expenditure. And at the bottom, you have revenue over expenditure, and the total, as you can see, is $2.39 million in excess compared to the expenditure. Here we have a two-year comparison, that is for the fiscal year 2024-25 and 25-26 with the graphical analysis. At the bottom, you will see that the revenue collected so far compared to 2024-25 is 2.3, that is greater than 2024-25. And that's the financial report for the month of January. I can take any question if you have any.
Are there any questions from council regarding the January report?
Yes.
Yes, Councilwoman Hauser. Mhm.
Could you just give me some clarity? You said there, under the revenues, you said 34%, 34%, and then you said against 25% expenditures. Can you explain that to me? I don't know what that
That is for the general fund. For the general fund, let me go back to that page.
under the enterprise fund.
Enterprise fund.
Yes,
okay. For the enterprise fund, can you?
34%.
For the enterprise fund, you have 4 columns there. The year-to-date percentage collected is 34% of the total revenue we anticipate collecting for the fiscal year. So far, as at the end of January, we have collected 34% of that revenue. And down on the expenditures, that is indicating that we have expended 25% of the total amount we expect to spend for the fiscal year. On the budget side, you will see that $27.96 million was budgeted. The 34% for the is telling you that out of that fund, 9.37 million has been spent. The 34% represent the.
It's been received.
It's been received. The 9.37 million is telling you that represents 34% of the 27.96 million that was budgeted for revenue. So 34% has been received. And on the expenditure side, 27.96 million we anticipate that we're going to spend that much. So year to date, it shows that 6.98 million has been spent. So that represents 25% of the amount that we anticipate was going to be spent.
Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may, generally, when we look at those numbers, we expect our expenditures to be less than our collections. So just as a general rule, there may be instances where there is an explanation there, but we've collected 34%, we've only expended 25%. So we always want our revenues, it will true up as we go through the year, so you'll see those numbers fluctuate. But in general, we try to keep our expenditures in line with our revenue.
Okay, thank you.
Any other
Just-
questions? Yes, Councilwoman Benson.
One point of clarification, I know I'm asking a stupid question here, but I'll do it anyway, just to put on the record. This is based off of fiscal year as opposed to calendar year, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Council. Mayor, if I can provide a little bit additional clarification. So these numbers are based on our fiscal year beginning October 1st of 2025. I will also say that these numbers are from January, and we typically have to pay the December utility invoices in January. And of course, it was a very cold month for us. We're at the mercy of whatever the rates are when it comes to MEAG for power. And then our water rates will more residents being at home during that time frame. And so it typically spikes in January due to the holiday and the season in December.
Thank you. Okay, yes, Councilman Perry?
I have one question. I believe on the second page of your presentation, there's a 22,000, I guess we're in the positive for that 22,000. What do you attribute that to?
The fund balance.
Yes.
The fund balance is a governmental accounting term that represents the cumulative difference between your total asset against your total liabilities. So that is telling us that in our accounting books, our revenues, our assets are much more than our liabilities.
Okay, so thank you. Looks like we're doing very well towards our budgeted against our expenditures. So thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Next item.
Next item is number 9, the City Administrator's Monthly Report.
And then, Mr. Phillips, if I could ask you also, at the end of your report, can you just add information regarding the upcoming event this Saturday, Black History Month celebration?
Absolutely.
And Mike, if you'll put that on the screen when he brings that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. 2026, we've begun the year in the city with a very strong momentum, and I want to provide a couple of highlights. Hopefully you've had a chance to see the report that was a part of the agenda package, but I'll take a few moments to highlight a few of the key notable things included in that report. In infrastructure and capital investment, we've continued to work on our city facility improvements and technology upgrades, adding some new servers. Our IT system is in constant need of upgrading, and so we have been under that process for some time now, and that continues. We've also continued the process of installing our next generator, which is at 102 Howell. Under the last several years, we've installed several generators on key facilities around the city, so in the instance of a power outage, we can keep core services in place. So that continues with the latest generator installation at 102 Howell. We're also continuing to make exciting progress on the public safety complex. We are now in the permitting phase, which means we are very close to being able to start construction. You will soon see that. I can't give you an exact date, but it's very close. And so we will have an additional update for you on that very soon. In economic development and downtown activation, it has been a significant 60 to 90 days, and there have been some key accomplishments during that time. We've established 2 intergovernmental agreements with the Development Authority of Fairburn that have provided several key assets. One is the acquisition of the historic bank building downtown, which was closed on within the last 30 days. The establishment of the ordinance for our Special Services District, which is key in our downtown activation plans, and the advancement of bond financing, which is all in total positioning us to really transform downtown in a way that was not possible previously. So there's much more to come on that, but we're excited about the progress in that area and the tangible progress that we believe will come from these key investments. Around communication and public engagement, the biggest event in January was the inauguration that welcomed all of you. Communications did an outstanding job of pulling that together, and so we're excited about the path forward. Public safety continues their proactive training for both police and fire. Both agencies also collaborate regionally, and so that continues, as well as community outreach. As you're probably aware, community policing is a key tenet in the police department, and our fire department is always accessible to our citizens. We had a new hire breakfast in January, which we typically do annually, to welcome all of our new staff members. It went really, really well. The mayor was able to attend and encourage our staff, and we actually had one of our staff members that was a keynote speaker for that event. Went really, really well. In planning and growth and development, our development activity is continuing at a proactive pace, and so we're continuing to see a lot of applications. Those applications are being reviewed. we are moving forward with the administration of our impact fees that was passed by this body a short time ago, which will be a significant step forward for the city. And code enforcement is always a key area of planning and growth. We want to make sure that we monitor quality of life in both our residential and other areas of the city as well. Parks and Recreation is always active. We've had youth programming ongoing. You saw an example of that at the beginning of tonight's meeting, and the impact that that has in our community, not just at Duncan Park, but even beyond Duncan Park as well. We've done some facility improvements. We're working on the gym floor installation, which you heard about at the last council meeting at the youth center. And we're always looking for community partnerships for youth soccer, things of that nature, and continuing to invest in those quality of life services. Those are just a few highlights. I will pause there. Oh, I'm sorry. If you could please bring up the flyer for the Black History Program. We are truly excited about the Voices of Legacy Black History Program. It is going to be this Saturday, February 28th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Frankie May Arnold Stage and Courtyard, right there by Oz Pizza, 15 Southwest Broad Street. It's an exciting program, as you can see, that includes some key performances, Orchestra Noir, Spirit and Truth Choir, as well as several others. We're excited about the program. I don't know if many of you have been on social media, but Communications has done a tremendous job. In every department, we've been highlighting Black history by specific functions. So for Parks and Recreation, for economic development, and so it's really been a wonderful effort to highlight Black History Month, to engage our residents, both on social media, and it culminates on Saturday. We're excited about the program. We want to encourage all of our residents to please come out, and it's going to be a great program. We're going to have some good weather, and we're going to speak that into existence, and then we're going to look forward to having a tremendous time to culminate our Black History Month programming. And I'll pause for any questions you may have.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, Councilwoman Davis.
Yes. Since we've really talked a lot about our staff benefits and retention during the council meeting, how are we with our staff? Is it stable, pretty stable in reference to new hires or those that have stayed for a while? Share that with me.
I would tell you without having numbers before me that generally, yes, our retention has been very good. I know Chief Bazzillo's back there. I'm not going to put him on the spot, but I'm sure he would tell you. In fact, he and I were talking a little earlier today that retention in the police department is probably as high as it's ever been. Am I accurate on that, Chief? In public safety, that's generally true. Now, there are always some vacancies. We have some turnover, but it's been managed to a very low number. And so we have a very stable staff, and I think that's largely because of what we spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
We have a benefits package that is better than average. We do things like manage those costs downward for our employees. The healthcare reimbursement account that you heard about earlier, I don't think there's another city anywhere near us that does that.
That's awesome.
And so those types of things. Now, the mayor makes a good point. We are constantly trying to communicate to our staff because there are times when I've had to get some assistance navigating healthcare benefits. It's not always easy.
Me too.
You have to, you have to really be able to figure out how do you use all these tools, which one applies to this versus that.
Right.
Our benefit renewal will begin at the beginning of March. In this very chamber, there will be a series of mandatory meetings with every employee where they will walk through the entire benefit renewal process, benefit by benefit, cost by cost, and then be here to meet with employees one-on-one who have questions. That's just to start the benefit year, but as the mayor mentioned, we've had that discussion about continuing that throughout the year so that employees are able to not only understand their benefits, but able to utilize them to their full benefit. Because oftentimes, as the mayor has cited earlier, we find instances where people aren't quite sure how to use the healthcare reimbursement account. Right. And if you don't use it, you're leaving money on the table. Right. And so in the recent departmentals that the mayor led, we would explain to our staff, if you use that benefit, that's less money that you spend out of your paycheck. And so it really is a financial benefit. And so it's an ongoing conversation. We're going to lean into that very proactively, as the mayor suggested earlier, and make sure that we're doing everything we can, not only for them to be aware of the benefits, but to lean into wellness and to understand why that matters. And it's good for you, your health, your family, and ultimately our staff as a whole.
Yeah, and I would like part B to that, Mayor. I want to ask you, could there be a possibility for council to have that kind of face-to-face with our
Absolutely.
insurance, yeah. so
Absolutely.
And ask questions, or,
Yes,
I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
More than happy to.
it is noted, and we will proceed to implement that. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay. All right, that does not require a vote. Um, Okay, council comments, is that our next item?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then, we will begin with Councilman Perry.
Good afternoon, Mayor, residents. First, I want to say congratulations again to the Creekside football team to go have an undefeated football season, to score the most points in GHSA history. That's truly outstanding work, not just for the coaches, the athletes, but the parents and the administration there at Creekside as well. So hats off to them. But also, I want to mention that the Lady Seminoles last Thursday, they won the 4A region, so they're back-to-back region champions. They're currently the sitting state champions, and it looks like they're on their way again. So we're extremely proud of the ladies as well. I want to do a really big shout out to the Fairburn in Focus. I think that's a huge initiative, ma'am. It's masterful working with communications there to get the information out to the residents and the citizens here in Fairburn. And I really see big things with that. So kudos to everyone involved with that. Ms. Communications Director,
Yes.
outstanding, Ms. Howell, outstanding.
Yeah.
And last, it's Amnesty Week. So I brought it up last time I was here. Residents, please get with Fairburn Utilities so that you can work with payment arrangements if needed, get a better, deeper understanding of the bills that you might have before you, and so that we can make sure that everyone's warm and safe here as we continue going throughout the year. God bless.
Thank you. Councilwoman Benson?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to keep mine short and sweet, but
2 minutes.
I know. But one of the things that I really want to stress as we continue through this year is, and we've brought it up many times, unity. And I had the privilege, along with Councilwoman Hauser and Mayor Pro Tem Smallwood, to attend the St. John AME Lay Witness Day, which was on Sunday, and our very own wonderful, honorable Mayor Portis Jones was the one who gave was the guest speaker who gave that keynote speech. I encourage everyone to go onto YouTube and to listen to that speech. It reflects her heart. It reflects what our city is doing. It was delivered with truth and humility and honesty and compassion, and I think that everyone really needs to know how this city is moving forward. Along with that, I had the privilege of speaking at Langston Hughes High School last week and to the sophomore class for the award ceremony. My speech was on because it matters to you, it matters to me. And one of the things that was stressed, because I know that students hate hearing speeches, was to get them up and moving and to share their desires and their dreams. And for the adults, the parents, the staff, to actually witness that kids do care and hold leadership seriously and should be heard. And so I encourage everyone to move forward in that vein. Listen to your partners, to your friends, to your children, and move accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Hauser?
Hello, everyone. I want to again say thank you to our Mayor, Hattie Portis Jones, for that annual Lay Witness Day yesterday and that speech on United as we serve with a heart like Jesus. And I also want to say happy birthday. I want to thank Chief Robinson for the community engagement on the CPR class for the sensational seniors at the Parks and Rec. I want to thank our city administrator and assistants. You're just doing an amazing job, and I don't know how you come up with this great budget, but you're doing an amazing job. I also want to thank the Fire and Police Department for your public confidence and responsiveness. And I want to thank Ms. Jacqueline Howell for her emergency preparedness and public information alert and follow-ups. And I want to say to Ms. Denise Brooks, thank you for the 48 violators being resolved. So I don't know how you come up with that in the Planning and Zoning Department, but thank you for just doing an amazing job. And thank the council. Thank you for being a part of this great council.
Councilwoman Davis?
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to say happy belated birthday to our mayor. Our birthday was yesterday, February 22nd.
Thank you.
And sorry I wasn't able to make that Sunday speech, boy, I tell you, but I will look at it on YouTube. Also, I want to say congrats to Creekside, and in addition to what Councilman Perry said in reference to Fairburn and Focus, that first edition was outstanding. And Mayor, your picture was gorgeous on that. And the highlight that we had in that women, I'm looking for my minutes now, they're gone. Yes, that was awesome. We highlighted a staff member, Meaches, and I tell you, it was we got great staff, but I've been around Meaches, and she is just bubbling with light all the time. So I really appreciated that article. I also want to, 55 seconds, to thank Miss Jamila Chris for, I received an email, I don't even want to say the person's name, but it was a veteran that had been sleeping in his car since, I think, September or August of 2025. And 24. And he had finally, and I don't know how he got my name or the address, my email address. I think it was just divine intervention. And he had recently got a job, and he wanted some temporary housing. And I mean, my heart was heavy when I read it. And the first thing I did, I need to send this to administration. And Jamila took it and ran with it and helped him. And I just want to say thank you to you for what you did.
Councilwoman Nichols?
Yes, hi, thank you everyone for tonight. I want to reiterate the Black History Month event this Saturday from 3 to 6, as well as Amnesty Week. And our utilities is having a customer service day on Thursday at City Hall from 2 to 7. So there you can meet directly with a representative to learn or ask questions about your situation. I'm also just continuing to be grateful to be on this council, and I'm looking forward to our training this week. We will be in Athens, Georgia, getting some great training and learning on how to be better council people. So I'm looking forward to that and continuing to build the relationships on this council. And yes, thank you for your believing in me and voting for me. And I'm going to continue to be the voice and stand on business.
Mayor Pro Tem Smallwood?
Well, not much left when you're the caboose. So ditto to everything that has been said. But I will say it's just like Councilwoman Nichols said, it's always just a pleasure to serve. I was like my colleague stated, I was at that wonderful gathering yesterday where our mayor spoke. It was very, very invigorating and just really, really, what's the word I want to say? Impactful. Do it anyway. All right, I won't spoil it. Go watch it, and you'll see what I mean when she talks about do it anyway, and I always just want to thank the staff. I mean, thank you, city administrator. About last request was for my neighbor who had the flat tire. You followed up with him, so there's that A1 service. From what you just said about that, I mean, this is just what Fairburn does. I always want to thank Chief Bazidlo. I remember former Mayor Avery saying something. He told one of his family members, "Don't come through Fairburn with that." And I was going to work the other morning, and I saw about 6 of our guys with somebody, and I'm like, they shouldn't have come through here with that. I don't know what it was, but, I just thank you all for keeping us safe. Because it's a lot going on in the city. I see it on the campaign trail. Georgia, the metro region, Georgia period, is just not projected to stop growing. And as people come, potential for more activity to come. But I just feel good once I make it to the Fairburn city limits. So just thank you.
And I will close by saying, thank all of you who were able to attend yesterday. It really warmed my heart to see you there. And I understand when others are not. You know, our schedules conflict, so we can't be at everything all the time. But thank you so much for that participation. Ms. Chris, thank you again. I want to echo what Councilwoman Davis said in following up and assisting that veteran. This is what I talk about when I say I'm wanting staff to be creative, to think outside the box, to be all about customer service, because that's the business we are in. And that exhibits exactly that. But, all of our staff are doing various things in meeting that moment of providing customer service to our community. But it's my challenge to them to elevate it. And so I want you guys to know that. Creekside, I am just overjoyed about, Creekside and the fact that it's our high school, regardless of where it is. It is our high school, but the fact that over 3/4 of that team came through Duncan Park just blew me away. And that just said to me, the gem that we have right here in our backyard. And so it is my mission to elevate that and to figure out how to maximize that. I'm telling y'all now, okay? So be on the lookout for that. And please take heed to the various activities we've got going on. The rest of this week, the utility customer service, the amnesty, the Black History Month, and more to come. But thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate that. Do we have executive session?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So may I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will be going to executive session. Yeah.
Yeah. March 23rd.
What?
Yes.
Last birthday.
Okay, all right, okay. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
It doesn't happen often.